So yesterday lecture we discussed about the different the properties of compost. Also we discussed about the different factors that affecting the composting process. Okay. So in that topic there are the various factors that affecting the composting process. In that the first one is the particle size. So the particle size for the composting should be smaller as the size vary 30 to 50 mm. Okay, because the smaller the particle size, increase the conversion rate during the composting. As larger the size, that decrease the rate of the conversion and the rate of the composting. So the particle size should be smaller, while 30 to 50 mm for composting process. Next, the second factor affecting composting, that is the moisture content. So the moisture content should be always maintained to maintain the biological process rate. Okay. Suppose if the moisture content is not maintained properly, that decrease the biological process rate. So the 40 to 50% that much moisture always be maintained into that composting process. Next important, that is CN ratio, that is carbon to nitrogen ratio, and that CN ratio should be always maintained and that responsible for the biodegradation process. Okay, so carbon nitrogen ratio should be proper for composting process. That ratio vary from starting to the end of the composting process. So during the starting, it should be 30:1. Okay, so 30 carbon and nitrogen. Okay. So that is the 30:1 for the starting process, and at the end of the composting process, that should be 15 to 20. Okay, so CL ratio should be maintained for the composting process because that ratio is responsible for that biodegradation process. Next one is pH. So pH value should be always maintained during the composting because if the pH value going to be decreases in acidic condition, that will be harmful for the bacteria and organism and that kill the bacteria and organism and that reduce the biological conversion rate. Okay, so pH should be maintained between 6.5 to 8.5 to maintain the biological conversion rate for the composting process. Next thing, temperature. So temperature also very important thing in composting process because in composting process the temperature of that compost going to be changes during the composting process because heat is evolved into that process. So the temperature from lower, that means you can say 30 is going to be higher up to 65 degree, 30, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60 up to 65 degrees. So during this process of compost, the temperature is always maintained is very important and maintain of temperature properly is very important because if the temperature going to be increases above than 60 degree, then microorganism die out and the biological activity reduced. Okay, so for the survival of a microorganism, so the temperature should be less than 60 degrees Celsius during that process of composting. Okay, so temperature should be always maintained between 45 to 60 degrees Celsius. Okay, so you can sprinkle some water over that composting so that you can minimize the temperature of that process. Next, also blending and seeding, that also you can use to maintain the moisture content and accelerate the biological decomposition rate. Okay. So blending and seeding, that is one of the process. In that case, also you can maintain the moisture content for that decomposition of waste. And the last one is air circulation. So to maintain this process, composting process, it is basically two types of process. One is aerobic process and one is anaerobic process. But basically this process is aerobic process, and if your process is aerobic process, so air circulation is very important for to maintain that aerobic condition because if the process is aerobic and there is no any air circulation, then what happens? That aerobic condition turn into anaerobic condition, and this all bacteria, microorganism die out. Okay, so that's why air circulation should be maintained to maintain the aerobic condition. Otherwise, that aerobic condition or that compost turn into anaerobic condition due to absence of free space. So 40 to 60% free space should be available to that compost, and the oxygen level should be maintained 13 to 18 degree for that particular compost. Okay? So that you can maintain the aerobic condition, and that is called as air circulation. Okay? So these are the various factors that affecting the composting process. After that, what are the properties of compost? So in the properties of compost we discuss about the color of that compost, and the color of that compost should be brown and black color. So that compost having earthy odor. Again, it feel cool to the hand. Again, it should be good quantity of humic acid. Okay, it should be free from all type of knots and other compounds. Okay. Also, it should not be completely dry and should not be completely watery. Okay, so free from the water. Okay. So these are the some of the qualities, and the pH is very important. So the pH for that particular final product or compost should be vary between 6.5 to 8.5. So these are the various qualities, or either you can say the properties of the compost, this final product of compost. So that we discussed in previous lecture, that is properties of compost and the factors affecting the composting process. So the now next one is the important, that is what are the different methods of composting. Okay. So basically these composting method are classified into various types. So according to temperature, that is thermophilic and mesophilic composting. According to presence of aerobic and anaerobic bacteria, that process is aerobic process and anaerobic process. According to equipment and technology use, it is mechanical composting and windrow composting. So mechanical, it is a closed type of composting, and windrow composting, it is open type of composting. So this aerobic composting is classified into again the two methods that classify as aerobic method. The one is indoor method of composting. It is a type of uh, aerobic method of composting, and the Nadib method of composting, it is also one of the type of in the aerobic method of composting. Second, Bangalore method of composting. So this Bangalore method of composting, it is a type of anaerobic method of composting. Okay. So indoor, it is a aerobic. Bangalore, it is anaerobic. Nadib method, it is also aerobic method. So now we're going to discuss about the one by one method. So you can see what are the stages which occurs in composting process. So the first stage, it is what nothing but a preparation of solid waste. Okay. So preparation of solid waste, in that case, we require to prepare the solid waste for the composting process. So in preparation of solid waste, or either you can say feedstock, so we require to separate and segregate the various other material which present into that solid waste. So that material maybe it may be rubber, okay, which is inorganic in nature, maybe plastic, it may be leather, it may be metals. So this inorganic material should be separate from the organic material. Okay. So organic material which is biodegradable, that you can separate and that you can use for the composting process. Okay, so the preparation of feedstock or preparation of solid waste, in that case we require to separate this all inorganic material, and you have to separate the organic waste which is biodegradable in nature, that you can use for the composting process. Okay. So after the preparation of feedstock, after the preparation of solid waste, the next important stage, that is called as decomposition of solid waste. Okay. So in this process, we require to lay the solid waste into layer. Okay, it may be the food waste, it may be the kitchen waste, it may be garden waste, it may be papers, it may be dung, or it may be soil. So these various types of material which are used for the composting process, that require to lay in the layer, and that compost cover with the soil layer, and that after the completely filling of that pit, the decomposition of solid waste occur. Okay, so what is the second stage? That is nothing but the decomposition of solid waste. Okay, so decomposition of solid waste, it is nothing but the oxidization of organic matter by using bacteria and organism. So different types of organism and bacteria which present into that waste, that they are responsible to oxidize the organic matter. Okay. So decomposition of solid waste, it is nothing but the oxidation of organic matter by organism and bacteria. And finally, after the completely process of composting, you get final product, and that is what nothing but decomposed. Okay, so that is the third stage, that is called as marketing of final product. So in marketing of final product, we require grinding. Okay, so we require to grind that compost, then blending, then granulation, then bagging, then sorting. So whatever the different material which present into that compost, knots and all of things, that you have to sort and separate, segregate, and finally the final compost that you can pack and you can sell and you can transport for the selling. Okay, so this process that carried out after the final productive compost: grinding, blending, granulation, bagging, sorting, and transportation. So these are the different stages of the composting process. Okay, so now what are the different methods of composting? So basically aerobic and anaerobic method of composting, then mechanical composting, and then windrow composting. So indoor method of composting, it is aerobic composting. Bangalore method of composting is anaerobic method of composting. Nadip method of composting, it is also one of the aerobic method of composting. Okay. So I have mentioned here the three methods of composting. In that first is the mechanical method of composting. Second one is the Bangalore method of composting. Next, Nadik method of composting. Okay. So what is the first indoor method of composting? So this method, indoor method, was developed by Howard and Ward at the Institute of Plant Industry, Indore, in India. Okay. So it is developed by Howard and Ward in Indore, so that this method is called as indoor method of composting. Okay, so this indoor method of composting, it is the aerobic method of composting, which is used for vegetables and night soil, and which having a depth up to 1.5 to 2 meter and the width up to 3 to 8 meter above the ground level. Okay. So that indoor method of composting that are going to be discussed in detail in the next. Next one is the Bangalore method of composting. So this method is commonly used as anaerobic method of composting for the oxidation of organic component of municipal solid waste. Okay, so same whatever the layer is similar to the layer of the indoor method. Okay, and after 4 to 5 months completely stabilization, you get a compost. And as this method is anaerobic in nature, so it required a long duration for completely stabilization of waste. So the next one is the Native method of composting. So this method is developed by N.D. Pandari Pandey. Okay, so that this method is called as Native method of composting. Okay, and that method we want to discuss next lecture. Okay, so what is a Native method of composting? So it use what are the material that use for the Nadir method of composting. So you can see these are the different material which required for that Nadir method of composting. So in that the first one is crop residue, next one is the wheat, then cattle dung and kitchen waste. So this waste we required for the Nadir method of composting, and the size of feet is given below. Basically, the breadth of that pit vary from 6 to 8 feet. Depth should be vary from 2 to 3 feet, not more than 3 feet of the depth. And the length should be vary from 10 feet or more as per the requirement. Okay. So length as per the requirement 10 meter. Breadth should be 6 to 8 meter and the depth should not be more than 3 feet. Okay. So these are the size of the pit which required for the Nadik process. Okay. So how to and what is actually the process which carried out by the Nadik compost? So the ingredients in Nadik method, the ingredients added in layer by vegetable followed by dung and the soil. Okay, that means we have to keep layer one by one. So the bottom layer is vegetable, next layer is dung, and the next layer is soil. So in such manner, we require to place the waste into such a manner. Okay, so in that case you can say the 45 kg of vegetable matters, that is the basic layer. After that 5 kg of dung mixed with the 70 liter of water, so that is what the second layer. Next one is 50 kg of soil, so that the 30 layers will fill the tank. After 15 to 30 days of filling, the organic biomass automatically placed down to 2 feet. After the complete filling of this tank, so due to oxidation start, the biomass automatically placed down up to 2 feet, so that we require to refill the tank. So again add or refill 2 to 3 layers and again refill that tank. So after the filling of tank, do not disturb the tank for particularly 3 months, and when organic matter is completely degraded by the organism. Okay. So for during this process, we require to add some water to avoid the completely dry condition of that compost. Okay, so about 20 to 50 liters of water sprinkled twice a week after tank fully loaded. So you can see this picture. So that picture, the black picture is showing the layer of different types of waste. The first layer, which is in black color, that indicate the waste. Second layer, which indicate the dung. Third layer, that indicate the soil. Again, the next layer, which is the waste, again the dung and soil. So your pit should be filled in such a way like that. Waste, then dung, then soil, waste, dung, soil. So in a such a way that you have to completely fill your pit, and in the left diagram we can see that is what the pit structure like a brick wall and having a air, some hole for the free air circulation so that we can maintain the aerobic condition into that tank. Okay, so basically this is the aerobic process, and it's a brick structure which is used as a compost pit, and we have to layer in such like that sketch which indicate the first layer, second layer, third layer, first layer, second layer, third layer.